Still the first tablet, and this would be chapter 5. Now this is the account of the kingship of Alalu, and of the going to earth. In the land unity was lost. Some by the death of Lama rejoiced, others by Alalu's deed were saddened. In the land unity was lost. About the kingship many were grieved. From father to son, succession from and on the throne continued. Even Lama, the eighth, by adoption a son, was proclaimed. Who was Alalu? Was he a legal heir? Was he firstborn? By what right did he usurp? Was he not a king's slayer? Before the seven who judged Alalu was summoned, his fate to consider. Before the seven who judge Alalu spread his pleas. Though neither legal heir nor a son firstborn, of royal seed indeed he was. Who was Alalu? Was he a legal heir? Was he firstborn? By what right did he usurp? Was he not a king's slayer? Before the seven who judge Alalu was summoned, his fate to consider. Before the seven who judge Alalu spread his pleas. Though neither legal heir nor a son firstborn, of royal seed indeed he was. Of Anshargal am I descended, before the judges he claimed. By a concubine my ancestor was to him born, Alam was his name. By the count of Shahs, Alam was the firstborn, the throne to him belonged. A law of the seed from naught she created, for her son the kingship obtained. By descent of Alarn's generations am I continued, the seed of Anunnaki is me. To the council of counselors they passed the matter, truth or falsehood, to ascertain the royal annals from the house of records were brought forth. With much care they were read. And Anatu, the first royal couples were 3 sons, and no daughters to them were born. The firstborn was Enki. He died on the throne. He had no offspring. The middle son in his stead the thrones ascended. Anib was his name. Anshagal was his firstborn. The throne he ascended. After him on the throne kingship by the firstborn did not continue. The law of succession by the law of the seed was supplanted. A concubine's son was the firstborn. By the law of the seed of kingship he was deprived. The kingship instead to Kishagal's son was granted. Her being a half-sister of the king was the reason. Of the concubine's son, the firstborn, the annals made no record. Of him I am descended. Alalu to the counselors cried out. By the law of succession to him kingship belonged. By the law of succession to kingship am I now entitled. With hesitation the counselors of Alalu an oath of truth demanded. Alalu swore the oath of life or death as king. The council him considered. They summoned the elders, they summoned the princes. Before them the decision was pronounced. From among the princes a young prince stepped forward. About the kingship words he wished to say. Succession must be reconsidered to the assembly, he said. Though neither firstborn nor by the queen a son, of pure seed am I descended. The essence of An in me is preserved, by no concubine deluded. The counselors heard the words with amazement. The young prince to step closer they summoned. They asked for his name. It is Anu, after my forefather, and am I named. They inquired about his generations. Of An's 3 sons he them reminded. Enki was the firstborn. Without son or daughter he died, and Ib was the middle son. Instead of Enki, the throne he ascended. And Ib, the daughter of his younger brother, took to be wife. From them onward the successions is in the annals recorded. Who was that younger brother? A son of An and Antu, one of the purest seed. The counselors with wonderment looked at each other. His spouse, Ninura, was a half-sister. Her son was firstborn, and Amma was his name. His wife was a half-sister by laws of seed and succession. A son she bore him. Of pure descent the generations continued, by law and by seed, perfect. Anu, after our forefather An, did my parents name me. From the throneship we were removed. From An's pure seed we were not removed. Let Anu be king. Many counselors shouted, let Alala be removed. Others caution did counsel, let strife be prevented, let unity prevail. They called in Aliu, the discovered findings to be told. To the prince Anu, Alalu, his arm in embrace offered. To Anu he thus said, though by different offsprings of one ancestor we are both descended, let us live in peace together, NIBIRU to abundance return. Let me keep the throne, let you keep the succession. To the council words he directed, let Anu crown prince be, let him be my successor. Let his son my daughter espouse, let succession be united. Anu bowed before the council. To the assembly he thus declared, Alalu's cupbearer I shall be, his successor in waiting, a son of mine, a daughter of his, as bride shall choose. That was the council's decision. In the royal annals it was inscribed. In this manner Alalu on the throne remained seated. He summoned the sages, savants, and commanders he consulted. For deciding he gained much knowledge. Let celestial boats be constructed, he decided, to seek the gold in the asteroid belt, he decided. Anu bowed before the council. To the assembly he thus declared, Alalu's cupbearer I shall be, his successor in waiting, a son of mine, a daughter of his, as bride shall choose. That was the council's decision. In the royal annals it was inscribed. In this manner Alalu on the throne remained seated. He summoned the sages, savants, and commanders he consulted. For deciding he gained much knowledge. Let celestial boats be constructed, he decided, to seek the gold in the asteroid belt, he decided. I think he repeated himself. That's what I decided.